Well, hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Well, we're going to do a little bit of a lens comparison in this video. And what I'm going to be doing is comparing the Sigma 20 to 200 millimeter lens and the Lumix Leica 12 to 60 millimeter lens on their respective camera bodies. So this will be on the full frame Lumix S5 Mark II. This will be on the Micro Four Thirds Lumix G9 Mark II. And I use both of these lenses, just depending. A lot of times I'm going out because I just don't want to change lenses, I'll take this. But of course, this on an S5 Mark II is noticeably heavier than the Leica on the G9 Mark II. But yeah, if I'm going out and I think I'm going to need longer than 200, I will frequently take the G9 Mark II with the Leica, and then also take the Lumix 100 to 300 for any wildlife type stuff. And this will work for some wildlife that you can get close to, and if it's large enough, but smaller things, not so much. So what I did was I did a comparison of close focusing, really, images. So some wildflower images. We have nearby a forest reserve that has a pollinator garden with native Midwestern U.S. wildflowers. And it does bring in a lot of butterflies and bees and such. So it's a pretty cool place if you want to go. It's over in Thatcher Woods. So if you want to go in there, if you're local, to the pollinator garden right by the pavilion off of Chicago Avenue, that is right now the place to be because it is in full bloom. The nice thing about close focusing is both of these lenses do it pretty well. The Sigma, as long as you're between 20 and 85 millimeters, you can do half-size macro. The Lumix Leica at 60 millimeters is, I think it gets pretty close into macro territory. You can get really close with this lens as well. And so for the comparison, what I did was I set the Sigma to 120 millimeters to equal the 60 millimeters of the full zoomed Leica, and I also set the aperture to f8, which should give a fairly close approximation to the depth of field that you get on the Leica at f4, which is wide open on this lens. So if you're looking at advantages, you know, being in the middle of the zoom range pretty much for the Sigma, perhaps gives it an advantage over being at the long end of the zoom range on the Leica, but be honest with you, to me, both of these lenses look perfectly fine and sharp. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two pairs of images. And each pair of those shows a particular wildflower, and I'm going to label them camera/lens A and camera/lens B. And then I actually have, would you call it a ringer? Not sure. So I have a fifth image that I'm going to show. And down in the comments, you're going to guess which lens did which image. And then for the final image, that one's not going to be labeled. And you're going to tell me which it is. Is it camera/lens A or B? And what I will do is give it about a day after uploading this for you all to put your answers down in the comments, and then I will reveal sometime tomorrow. There's no prize. I'm not a big-time YouTuber, so can't really afford to give something away, but you do get bragging rights. And you also might want to put in those comments if you prefer one or the other. But to me, they look pretty close. So here are those images, and I will be back for a follow-up. right, back. So what do you think? Put your answers down below. You have about a day, and then I will put a pinned comment up tomorrow, and we'll see how folks do. And by the way, the two wildflowers. The first, with the kind of a ball of little flowers, that is wild bergamot. Scientific name, Monarda fistulosa, in the mint family. In fact, it has a very, very aromatic smell to it, and it's actually used to make tea. And bees and butterflies love it. The second one, and if you know your plants, you probably recognize it as a legume from the flower, because that flower looks like a pea flower, and it is a legume in the legume family. It is showy tick trefoil. Scientific name, Desmodium canadense. Thing about that, the tick trefoil name is, I'm pretty sure it's because the seeds, which are in strips, just like in a bean, the seeds stick to fur, they stick to clothing. If you go through where a bunch of these have finished blooming and have gone to seed, you are going to be pulling them off your clothes for a while. It's a very pretty plant, but it does have that downside. So, answers down below. I'm Todd Banner. Have a pinned comment tomorrow with the answers, and I will see you in the next video.